Hello everyone, it's Fedek here, and today I'll talk about the newest RuneScape update, which is Revolution, an update to the combat system. Revolution allows you to use abilities automatically. You no longer have to activate them and spam them. You are able to use the full potential of the Evolution of Combat system, but without having to actively be present and pressing all the buttons that you are tired of pressing sometimes. To activate Revolution, you will see that on the action bar there's a new icon that says Combat Settings. When you click on it, it will open a new interface where on the left you can see 3 combat modes: Full Manual, Revolution and Momentum. Full Manual is the type of combat that we are all used to. Revolution is a new type of combat that, as I said, automates basic abilities so you don't have to use them, and Momentum is the one that we are used to but with a little bit updated. Now you might be asking, which of the 3 is worth it? Is it worth it to use Revolution? Can I use it for PvP, for bossing, for slaying? Does it decrease my XP rates by much? Well, to answer those questions, I decided to do an experiment. I tried out each combat mode for 15 minutes and thus been able to have the rates of XP per hour while slaying. This means that I could determine if the combat modes were useful or not, because if they decrease your combat XP by much per hour, they are not very useful. So first of all, I tried the full manual mode. This is the mode that we are used to. This is the mode where you spam abilities, where you click on basics, thresholds, ultimate. This is combat, the normal Evolution of Combat mode. I did overloads, turmoil, max stats, chaotic mode, and with that I was able to get 330k XP, total XP per hour. This is attack experience, constitution experience and slayer experience. Now this is not like the XP per hour that you should get. I mean, there's a lot of factors in consideration, but I wanted to have an indicator of how much XP you can make per hour using the manual system. After that I tried out Revolution. Now when you enter Revolution, you will see that there is a yellow rectangle on the action bar. The yellow rectangle indicates the abilities that are used automatically from left to right. Now the system, when you attack a monster, will start using the Q, then the W, then the E. If the Q come back for from the cooldown, then you use Q, etc. The thresholds and the ultimate abilities, you will be able to do them yourself manually, as always, if you have the required adrenaline, of course. With this system, I was able to get, using the same method, to get the same monsters, was able to get 264k, which is significantly lower. Yes, it's like 70k XP lower. It is a lot lower. What I found out while using this is that the first attacks that you do on a monster usually are auto attacks, and those auto attacks are not as good as the abilities. I don't know if it's something that a problem with the system. I don't know if this is what they intended, but it doesn't seem to be using the full potential of abilities all the time. That's why it is clear that it's much lower than using the pure manual system. And lastly, I tried out Momentum. Momentum is the same as before, but with the change that when you use it, you will be able to gain adrenaline, and when you get 100%, you can use the ultimates that you wish. You cannot use thresholds, you cannot use basics, but you can use ultimate. Now with Momentum, I didn't find out it was much different. Yes, the ultimates are good, but it felt like before. It felt like it was not as fast as using abilities. I got 240k XP per hour. It was pretty similar to Revolution, and yeah, it is clear that it's the least useful of the free modes. Now you might be saying, well, Revolution, then it's not worth it. No, of course this is not a scientific experiment. It could be possible that I messed up and I got, you know, maybe I used less overloads or less prayer when using Revolution, thus getting less XP per hour. It is an option. So it is possible that the XP per hour between Revolution and full manual is similar. Maybe I was wrong. But still, Revolution has some advantages that are very worth noting. With Revolution, you're able to socialize, to, you know, pay attention to other stuff while training combat. It's with the normal system, you have to be constantly paying attention to the abilities, to pressing buttons. With Revolution, you can be more free to do other stuff you want to do. So in that case, Revolution is very useful. It's useful when training and wanting to do something else. Now, if you want to do stuff like bossing or PvP, which requires you to have more tactical decisions, you know, to maybe you should use freedom, maybe you shouldn't use freedom, stuff like that. In those cases, Revolution is not worth it, because you don't have as much freedom as you do with the full manual system. So I wouldn't recommend you use Revolution while bossing or PvP, but it is an option for Slayer or combat training in general. If you want maximum XP per hour, then you should stick with the manual system. But Revolution is a reliable and it's a positive alternative to the evolution of combat. So this update was not only Revolution. We had other stuff like ability queuing, which allows you to click on an ability that is on cooldown, and if you do that, then the ability will be used automatically when it's available. This can be good for stuff like ultimates or thresholds, but it kind of messes up when using basic abilities. You know, sometimes you press the buttons more than once and it messes up the system a little bit. It is not very good, but if you don't like it, you can just deactivate it through the combat setting interface. It's very easy. Another update which is very useful is that now when you switch weapons, you can use abilities immediately. Before, if you switch a weapon, you have to wait a little bit to be able to use abilities. Now it's no longer needed that. Now you can just switch weapon and use ability. This is very good for people that do hybrids and for people that kill bosses or stuff like Tomony Demons, for example, where you need to be constantly switching weapons. It's very good. And lastly, there was also an update which allows you to press a button and fill up your adrenaline bar with abilities that have to do with the weapon that you are currently holding. This is very good for new people that want to try out the combat system and don't know which abilities to use. It's very good. Maybe the abilities are not the best combination, but they are still a reliable source of abilities. Well, in conclusion, I wanted to do this video because Revolution, I feel like it's an update that solves a lot of the concerns that people had with the new combat system. People were always, you know, complaining that they didn't want to be pressing abilities all the time, and now they are able to use the system in its full potential, but without having to constantly pressing buttons, which is very positive. I hope that people realize this, and I hope that new people try out the evolution of combat system, and I hope that people like Revolution and people understand that this is an improvement, and this is, you know, Jax saying that there needs to be stuff resolved and there needs to be stuff done about the evolution of combat. It's not perfect, it needs solutions, and this is a solution indeed. If you go to the combat beta, you will find out that there are other updates like special attacks, which will come out later, and you could try them out with Revolution and with the manual setup that is now in the live game. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and go try some combat.